Okay, so we're going to take a look here at the golf swing of Jeev Milkha Singh. Now this guy has been around for quite a long time, he's pretty well known, he's a highly successful player, he's had 20 wins as a professional, 4 wins on the European Tour. A few years back he got up to 38 in the world rankings, so as I say he's a seriously good golfer. And I think this is a sort of great golf swing to have a look at because it's one that you could say is quite unorthodox, but he's obviously been a very successful player, so it's one that he can make work for him. So I'm just going to go through a few pointers here with how I think he does make this golf swing essentially be functional and work for him. So this is him playing at Walton Heath US Open qualifying. He played pretty well here. I think he just missed out on qualifying by a shot. Obviously we've got down the line driver here on the left, face on the right. So if you have a look at this down the line view on the left, the first thing we'll see from he's got sort of a good solid setup, and then he's going to get he's not really going to get a one-piece takeaway. So you can see the hands and the arms sort of move out, and the club head moves inside the hands and the arms there. So he's not really getting a one-piece takeaway, as I say. The club head coming inside of the hands, and if we look at the club face, you can see it's in this position here, so sort of wide open. If that was a bit more neutral, we'd see it matching the angle of his spine, so more in sort of this position here. So you can see it's pretty far away from that neutral position. Then from here, because he's got that sort of club head very much inside of the hands, he's going to get it very flat on the way back. You can see there halfway back, the butt end of the club, the shaft pointing way outside the ball there. And then if we keep taking it up to the top of the backswing, what we're going to see is he gets very much disconnected from his body. So from here, the arms lift up and very much come away from his body there. And he's still got very much an open club face at the top. Now that's a move I think he does just to create some bit of extra leverage to allow him to create some club head speed. He's not a short hitter, about 285 on average. And because we're going to see he doesn't really get much rotation through impact, so I think that's just a move that he does, as I say, to help him create club head speed, because he doesn't really get too much of it from his rotation. Now, this very much sort of disconnected from his body, we're going to see what is a little bit of an over-the-top sort of move, hands very much coming out. We'll see there the shaft of the club sort of through his shoulder, between his shoulder and his neck. For a sort of elite tour level player, you'll generally see that more through the right upper arm. And then he comes down into impact. Stop it just there. We can see the butt end of the club, the shaft again, pointing very much to the left, so a pretty good indication he's going to have an out to win swing path in this position here. And also, if we look at his club face again, we'll see it is still in a, let's do that again, his club face is still wide open in this position here. Now from here, for him to have a sort of functional face-to-path relationship that's going to allow him to get the ball on target, he's going to need to do something pretty drastic here. He doesn't really rotate much at all through impact because he can't really. If he was to rotate really hard with that club face position, he could potentially be hitting sort of big push slices to the right. So what you're going to see him do is make a compensatory move, and what you're going to see is his hands and his arms really quite aggressively moving that direction there, very much to the left. So if you have a look here through impact, see his hands and his arms go really aggressively across his body and very much to the left, giving him that really flat looking finish. And I think he does that move so aggressive, so hard, it makes his finish so flat that he actually loses a little bit of balance on his follow through there. That's actually, it sounds bit mad comparing the two, but that's a move you see Dustin Johnson make. Very different players. He does it for a very different reason. Obviously Dustin Johnson gets a massive amount of rotation with his lower body, and he pulls it left to keep his hands in front of his body, but obviously not quite as extreme as this guy is doing it. Crazy comparison, I know, but that is two similar moves that you see with those players. So as I say, for me, that is why I believe that's his compensatory move. I think he can repeat that, and I think that's why this golf swing works. Yes, he gets into some funky positions during his swing, but this move pulling his hands and his arms really hard to the left helps him to square the face from that open position, helps to neutralise his path a little bit, makes that relationship functional, and so he can get the ball on target. And as long as he can repeat that move, which obviously he can because he's been such a successful player, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If we look on the right hand side, I just want to draw a line here on his head. Oops. Doing a very good job here. There we go. And what we're going to see, so he's taking it back, and as I say, he gets his arms very much disconnected away from his body, so in sort of this position here, now everything starts to lift up, the arms, the body all start to lift up. You can see his head comes through that line, just to, as I say, to create some leverage, to get some club head speed. Now coming down, into the downswing, it gets a good kinematic sequence, so that allows him to, yes, it's a little bit over the top, but that good sort of initiating with his lower body allows him to shallow the shaft on the downswing. Again, that's going to help him to create club head speed. And then from this position just here, we're going to see everything, as I said, showed on down the line, move very much to the left. And because he's not really getting much rotation, it's all a bit sort of cramped and awkward through impact. You can see here, his through impact, his left arm and his right arm are both sort of a little bit chicken winging, both a little bit bent. As I say, that's because he's just bringing it so close into his body, pulling it so hard to the left that he's not really got the space to extend through. And then as we can see, really hard to the left, giving him that really flat finish. But as I say, that move going to the left is for me what allows him to square the face, have a functional face-to-path relationship, get the ball on target, do that consistently, and that is why he's been such a successful player. Alright, thank you for watching.